All right, so here is the app. I have to have internet connection, as I'll show in one of the images I'll attach. It's fairly straightforward. Also, you do need to log in with an email address. It seems that you can use even just one of those temporary 10-minute email addresses as long as you can get an account that you can register the app online with. That's what matters. There is an activation card in the game, but that appears to be only needed if you want to make sure that your app here is up to date, and then there is some downloadable content you can get, like extra nations, nation leaders that would need to associate with your specific account. So if you click watch videos, there are actually several YouTube videos. They're all in German, but with English subtitles. And we haven't tried multi-device game yet, but it does say every player that's playing needs to have their own device. We have played this with 3 players on one device and 6 players on one device. So if I go create new game, single device, and then you select the number of players, we'll do 2 here. There are several scenarios. My natural inclination is to go to the right to see the other scenarios. And as you can see, you can rent a scenario, but if you keep going, you can get to the other scenarios. Fast game, and lead your country to victory. This one's a longer one. Nuclear threat. So there are 3 scenarios here. So if we do capture the flag, or let's do fast game, not that it matters for this video here. So we'll select, put a player name in. Sure, Q works. And this is on an Amazon tablet that I'm doing this, a Fire tablet. Now you get a choice of which of the nation leaders you want to pick for your player. And then, so we'll just select one, and then the next player. All right, sure. Select, yep. All right, and so there you have it. I think you can go back. Yep, you can click on these icons to change them. Oops. So there is no back button, and it wasn't intuitive at first, but you can click on these items to go back and change them. So we'll go next. It tells you then how to set up each player board. So you get your leader card and the number of units over here, and then there's a back button there. There was a time when it allows you to select that you manually take turns putting a troop on each land, or if you use the randomized, it will try and balance out the production points between the players, which is our preferred way and is also quicker. So then maybe you can, I picked colors that were a little too similar, maybe. Yeah, I gotta stay with that. But it actually shows blue and green and which territories they get to populate at first. And then blue's gonna go first, so they get less starting units in their base camp than the next player does. And here's our victory conditions. So we'll start the game. And of course it says, hey, call Germany if you need support. This is a German publisher. Round 1. And so it wants to know what's your production value here. So we'll say 92. Are you sure? So this is the main way it tracks if you've lost territories or gained territories, is the production value, because each territory has a production value on it. There is national events, which you read out loud normally. And that could be everything from an event that, like one event I had was my people rioted, so my production went down. And so I read that out loud. So here we have our production points. So now is the command and battle. So this is where you place your units, move your units. Defender can defend, and then you do the actual battle. And if you don't know what these do, the app tells you everything, so you don't even really have to read the instruction manual at all. So it tells you how to place units, how to move them. So basically, each territory has a production limit. So like here, Central Europe has 4. So the max you can have on that, plus the one owning that staying in that territory, is 4 units. And North Africa can have 6. So really, the strategy here is if you're trying to take over a place and it's 1 versus 1, such as in Australia, there's quite a few 1 versus 1 territories there, is to kind of try and surround them with territories, and that way you can move in multiple troops into that one place. Even if you have a territory of 6, the instructions say you're only rolling 3 dice, so 3 troops at any time, 3 units are attacking at any time against the defender's 3 units, up to 3 units. So then this explains defense, and observe the special skill of each nation. That may matter as well. And then how battle resolves, and this is where it says a maximum of 3 dice may be thrown. So even if I have 10 units attacking, I still can only throw 3 dice, so I need to pick infantry, tanks, or aircraft of which ones I'm going to be using in each battle. All right. There is a retreat option for both the attacker and the defender, but basically when you retreat, you get shot in the back, and so you lose troops. All right, so are all your battles done? Yes. And then now it goes to your headquarters, where based on your production points at the beginning of your turn, you now can spend all or none of your production points. So down here I have 92 production points, and so you can see each troop type costs production points, and it's automatically taking away from my total. And you need to scroll over to get to the aircraft. Up here is the technology, the diplomatic area, and the spy area. For every spy you hire, you can only do espionage on one enemy or opposing player at any time. So if I had 6 players in here that I wanted to spy on all of them, I'd have to hire 6 or 5 more spies for the other 5 players. Same goes for sabotage. So if I wanted to do espionage and sabotage on a single player, I have to hire 2 spies, one to do the sabotage, one to do the espionage. And the same goes for diplomacy. I have to hire so many diplomats to do tribute, boycott, and create alliances, and they get used up. So if I want to do all 3 actions with this specific player, I would need to hire 3 diplomats. And then there's another way to win in most of these games is through accomplishments. And so this last page shows you the different types of accomplishments you can get, such as build a minimum of 30 infantry units, conquer new territories, and so these will give you achievements in game. Any points you do not use at the end of your turn will get transferred over to your next turn. And that's kind of it. So are you done with your turn? Yes. And now the next player goes, and it just keeps going round and round, passing the single device around unless everybody has their own device. And a lot of those actions are either public or private, secret and anonymous. If you capture a spy, you will typically know which country you captured it from, so you know who messed with you or tried to mess with you. If a spy is successful, you have no idea who it was. So if you're playing a 6-player game, it could be any of the 5. And so lots of accusations get spread around, and there's a lot of player interaction. Even though there is secret activity going on, and but there is some downtime as player number 6 is waiting for the other 5 players to get through their app activity and make their decisions, and then of course roll for combat, and all have all those public conversations. So there is some downtime, but for the most part, the game keeps everybody engaged on everybody else's turn. So we really appreciate that. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. If so, please mark the helpful vote.